Hey, coming up right now, cops bust a DoorDash driver on his way to a delivery while his customers actually had no problem with his arrest.
Also coming up, a big oil company is giving their managers an ultimatum when it comes to office romance.
A little bit later on, pop star Kevin Jonas is forced to undergo emergency surgery. The important message he's got for his fans.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. So glad to have you here this morning. Here we're going to, of course, get you ready for the weekend for sure. Matt Doolittle's also hanging by here. Matt, how are you?
I'm very good, and I would like to point out that Mitch and I are both wearing Jordans today. It's fantastic. It's a red letter day.
I was told.
Get the memo. Why didn't you
AJ, we got to get you a pair of Jordans.
Are there girl Jordans?
There are. Oh yes.
Oh really?
Quite so.
Okay.
Now, he put it, he goes, man, you need to wash yours. And I go,
Wash
"Man."
your Jordans?
Yes, apparently.
Are you allowed to
those
do
are
He's got
that?
dirty toes.
See, those are dirty at the thing right there. So.
There's hardly anything on
I know, that's,
Wow.
yeah. Coming from him, it's very
He's
dirty.
a purist.
And so here's what happened. I go, well, I don't know. I hardly wear these. And I go, well, my son, Enzo, the 13-year-old, he wore them to school when I was out of town for a month. So that's
Didn't
why.
you buy them off of him?
And I bought them off of him.
So they're yours, but he wore them.
But he's got a great scam going. He's like, don't you like these? I need some money. And so I bought them from him, and now he still wears
Do you maybe you should charge rent?
I think I should. That's a great idea.
You could rent my shoes out.
That's a new business.
I know he could.
I got 70 pairs for rental.
$1 million idea
Yep.
for you, Matt. All right, we'll stay on the basketball topic. Bronny James, LeBron's son,
Yeah.
drafted 55th recently in the NBA draft. A lot of upset about this because I guess LeBron was saying, and of course, Matt, you can chime in on this because you're our basketball go-to guy.
Yeah.
But LeBron James wanted to play basketball with his son. Now, Bronny James is not the best player.
No, he
And-
averaged 5 points.
Yeah,
In
and
college
I
in
can
1
do
year.
that, couldn't I?
right. So, the whole thing is just sort of a novelty thing. And a lot of people are saying the only reason he got drafted is because of LeBron.
And I say 100%. If you saw the TV show about the Lakers,
Yeah.
they know what brings people to. It's not the game; it's who's at the game.
Yes.
And that was the whole reason. Their stadium is made just for that.
Yeah.
To be seen and to have fun there. So it makes sense to me. And when I pulled back and started thinking about it, it was like, I get it. The only other thing that I was thinking about was Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. They played together.
Well, that worked because they were both good.
Okay,
You
okay.
say-
The problem with
yes.
Bronny. Bronny's been
But
on
can I
tape-
finish this real quick?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he stayed at his dad. So one time, Sammy Sosa's up the bat. He hits it out the left field. Senior's about to catch it. Junior comes. You remember this? It comes from center field and
classic.
catches it. Right. His dad took away his car because of that. He was only 19 years old and still living at home. That's what I want out of this.
Yes.
Like if he screws up, something happened. Matt, I'm
Well,
sorry.
the problem is here. Apparently, there were talks going on that they were telling every other NBA team, if you take Bronny, there's going to be a problem.
Yes.
It was one of those like mafia kind of feel things going on.
The family.
And then also, LeBron opted out of his contract the other day,
Right after.
so that he can get more money from the Lakers. But the Lakers are like, wait, we drafted your son, and you're gonna do free agency? This doesn't make any sense.
none
It really
whatsoever.
is confusing.
Well, and then the threat from what I heard was he's going to go to Australia. If somebody else drafts him, we're sending him to Australia. And I was just like, okay, well then why don't somebody call them on their bluff, right? Like
They should have. I wish the
see,
Magic would have
yeah.
drafted him because he said he never wanted to deal with Orlando after the bubble deal or the Celtics as a.
Yes, as a a big.
And now the next thing the Lakers need to do is actually bring goats onto the team, and then that's their goats that you can really say you
put
have a
people
goat
in
in there. They would do it. I know.
Jack
they would.
Nicholson will come back for that game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, probably. True.
And to be LeBron James' son, everybody is looking at you to do a great job. But
He's been on tape since middle school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure on him. I would not want to be in that position. But
No.
then you're also like, my dad's going to get me a job. And y'all know I hired my son to be my
course.
weather producer when I was a weather guy.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, behind the scenes, your kid got his start. Like, if that's something that he wanted to do, he was kind of learning from the ground up. You're taking a kid that has absolutely little talent compared to other players, currently, and you're putting him on an A-list team on the Lakers to play with his dad.
And to pull back even more, I agree with you that you took that position away from
Someone else,
that could have
yeah.
had that
And
opportunity.
Michael Jordan's sons, neither of them made it to the NBA. One of them played here in Central Florida, and he was horrible.
That's right.
But you know what he did for a living? Went and opened a shoe store about his dad's shoes.
Hey,
Well, there you go.
that's
See?
what you do.
Trophy room.
You need to go into work with him.
I did. Yeah, I
Speaking
tried.
of shoes, that's how our show goes full circle.
It
Right?
does. We bring it back to the Jordans.
We go now to Arizona. 2 residents there shocked when 3 cops arrived at their door with their DoorDash delivery. Check this out. Moments earlier, their delivery driver was actually arrested while he was on his way with their groceries. They noticed that their driver had not moved from his location in about an hour. And just when they thought they wouldn't be able to ever get their groceries, they heard a knock at the door. Officers with the Phoenix Police Department wanted to make sure that they received their delivery. The driver, arrested for an outstanding warrant, told cops that he would return to the supermarket and ask another driver to complete the task, but the officers said they didn't mind going the extra mile. They did say it's all in a day's work in an effort to keep the community safe and happy, which also goes tell us a typical day of being a police officer. There is no typical day.
There is no
You
typical
probably had no idea they were going to be a DoorDash driver.
No, but we've seen this happen before, especially like if somebody gets pulled over late night, they've got a food delivery in their car.
Yeah.
It seems like they do go that extra mile to make sure whoever it is
like
is supposed
that.
to get that. Well, the CFO of BP Oil was recently fired for failing to disclose personal relationships at work. Now, the corporate giant isn't taking any more chances. In an email to staff, BP told all employees they were now required to disclose any relationships at work that go beyond the day-to-day. If not, they face losing their job.
Wow.
BP has also updated its code of conduct. It will now prohibit employees from directly managing relatives or significant others. BP's top 4,500 managers have been given 3 months to report all romantic relationships during the last 3 years. Apparently, the LeBron James, Bronny James situation wouldn't probably work
Probably
in this
not.
situation at
With
BP
nepotism.
Oil. Yeah.
You know, I think it is interesting because it's a different dynamic altogether. And I think that if you see one person not getting along with another person, you're a manager, how do you handle that? And then you find out, oh, they're dating. Like, well, if I had known that, I would have maybe worked around. And then it could lead even further into deeper problems that they might have at any corporation.
Yeah, I worked in a situation where the manager was best friends with one of the coworkers, one of my coworkers, and it made it extremely awkward for everyone on the staff because it's like, well, if you have a problem with this person, who do you go to?
Yeah,
you
very
can't
good
go to
point.
anybody. And then you know that those two were talking about everybody else in the office.
Yeah,
At Disney, they'll make you work on opposite ends of the entire property if they know you're dating or you're
Different
in
worlds.
Smart,
They're
yeah.
like, hey, you go work at Polynesian and you're going to work all the way at Animal Kingdom, and that's how we're going to keep
Well,
it.
look, and if somebody gets promoted within that company and it's under the guise that they're working for a manager they're having a relationship with or a best friendship with, then obviously there's favoritism there.
And you think this can happen from small businesses all the way up to
Well, look at the
BP. Very
GMA3
interesting.
thing, where they ended up, dating each other on the air, and they ended up getting rid of both of them.
Yeah, that's
GMA.
right.
Now they do a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
All right, pop star Kevin Jonas recently underwent surgery to remove skin cancer. The Jonas Brothers member revealed his diagnosis in a clip. He posted it on Instagram. He even moved the camera to show a mole at the top of his forehead. 36-year-old then showed off a bandage following the surgery. The procedure appeared to be pretty quick as he drove home shortly after the appointment. He captured the clip. He said, friendly reminder to get your moles checked. Moles, mole. Very important to do that. So glad to see
Right.
that, especially during the summer hours, you got to take care of
Yeah.
that skin. It's the biggest organ of your body.
True,
Keep that
especially
done.
if you live somewhere sunny like Florida
Yeah.
or California, well, anywhere really for that matter. The accused killer of Latin pop star Selena is making plans for her future release from prison in 2025. Yolanda Saldivar, former nurse, is now 63 years old. She's been serving time for the 1995 murder of the Latin sensation at the height of her career. Saldivar has expressed a desire to re-enter the workforce and wants to join forces with another pop star, Shakira. Her ambitions have raised eyebrows, especially considering her past. Just the mention of Shakira has caused a stir on social media and within the music industry. Many say trust will be a significant factor in Saldivar's future employment, regardless of what career path she chooses.
Yeah.
When you kill your boss, of course, that's going to raise some.
I think we have an admin assistant position open here at Daily Flash. So, I mean, if she's looking for a gig,
We can hire her up here.
We'd get attention, wouldn't we?
Here's the thing. I mean, obviously, this is a person that's very far out of the reach of reality that this would actually ever come to fruition for the first off. Second off, this is an industry where you got to know people, and you're in prison for the past 25 years or whatever. You don't have those connections you might have had back then. So again, I don't think this would ever come to fruition. And if Shakira did, watch out.
This is sad to say, but I could see somebody, a struggling pop star, saying, I'm going to hire this woman because then I'll get publicity out of it and attention, and I'll finally be on the map.
Better wear a bulletproof vest the whole time.
Well, I guess so. I mean, that's the chance you take. But clearly they do it for publicity, not necessarily for
that's gotta
a
be
legitimate job.
It makes complete sense on that. Yeah, all right. Hey, we would love to know what you think about anything we've been talking about here on the show. You can go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, or just send us an email, flash@dailyflashshow.com. Your comments could be on the air. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I am Mitch English. All right, listen, when you think about real estate agents, do you see them as like an army of one or maybe a global force for good? Well, soon you will, actually, thanks to a new program that's actually helping veterans get into the industry. And here to talk about it is Army veteran and real estate agent Jason Anderson. Hi, Jason.
Hey, good morning, Mitch.
Thank you first off for your service. We always appreciate having veterans on the show. And now you want to make sure that the veterans are taken care of. First off, explain what this program is to us, and then actually why veterans?
So Johns Hopkins University is putting on this event and specifically catering it towards veterans, which makes me really excited because there's this unique mission set and problem solving and adversity overcoming that veterans have, and this that pairs really well with the real estate industry, and catering towards these veterans and helping them land these high paying and high caliber real estate careers is a really exciting opportunity for the veteran community.
You had to make the transition from military world to the civilian lifestyle and jobs and that sort of thing. Is it a difficult transition to get out of the military and then maybe just jump into a career?
It really is. Yeah, there's so many different options and opportunities, and you're a little bit in this bubble when you're in the military. So having opportunity to see what else is out there, what other kind of careers that you've never heard about is a truly incredible opportunity.
You know, as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, veterans make a great real estate agent because first off, they fought for the land that they're protecting, for that. And now they were able to, be able to help everybody have their own piece of that freedom, if you will. What's key skills and maybe even knowledge that you think that veterans actually learn that really could actually help them become a successful career in real estate?
So two of the big ones are just being resourceful. That's one of the things that you learn early on in a career in the military that translates to real estate, is taking these different problems and everything being unique and figuring out how do you overcome that? How do you make this mission happen? And then how do you make the mission happen in real estate? And then managing people, leadership, and adaptability are just huge traits that transfer well into a wide variety of real estate careers. I
would imagine so. It's well said there, too. We're going to get to how folks can actually learn about this in just a second here, but I'd like to talk about actually the real estate market itself. Are there some emerging trends that you think that, really emphasize, maybe it's very crucial for new professionals to actually watch very closely?
There are, yeah. Some of these, just the housing market, I mean, people have been watching this with interest rates for a long time and trying to figure out how do you adapt and overcome in a dynamic and changing market, as well as everything that's going on with commissions. That's a huge opportunity to learn, adapt, and overcome and understand how do you thrive in this market that is changing for the first time in about 100 years.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And you think is there any more big challenges maybe that might be facing the real estate industry right now?
Yeah, I think some of the big challenges are really just the leadership aspect of how do you lead within this, community, and with everything that's going on, again, with clients and with careers, how do you really adapt and overcome and bring a lot of knowledge and bring a lot of leadership to that industry?
Okay, and I imagine that this event that you're about to tell us about is going to answer even more of those questions. So tell us about the event and how people can actually get involved.
So the event is really exciting. It's going to be focused on education, helping veterans land high-paying and high-caliber careers within the real estate industry. There's going to be some top names in real estate that will be speaking, along with Kim Kiyosaki. And there's going to be some networking with high-level real estate professionals within residential, commercial real estate, infrastructure development. And there's going to be recruiters and school counselors there to help veterans that are considering these careers, point them in the right direction, whether they're in person or if they're plugging in online.
Okay, and what we're going to do is put a link on our website, dailyflashshow.com. That'll link right to that Eventbrite event that you want to check out. Jason Anderson, thank you so much. The program, of course, if you want to find out more information to help veterans become the nation's top real estate agents, you can head over to dailyflashshow.com.
Taylor Momsen was bitten by a bat while performing with her band, The Pretty Reckless, in Spain while on a European tour. The 30-year-old who starred in Gossip Girl on the CW was opening for AC/DC when a bat landed on her left thigh and bit her after she finished singing one of her songs called Witches Burn.
That's crazy.
Initially, she had no idea anything happened and ignored cries from the audience about the bat on her leg. Momsen shared video of the incident on her social media pages.
That's incredible.
Right? She was
Look at that.
She was helped by a stagehand.
It's amazing.
Who came on stage, removed the bat before she finished out her set.
Oh my gosh.
Momsen was required to get a series of rabies shots following the show.
Okay, first off, the song too, witches, witches and bats go together. It's so crazy. And where was Ozzy Osbourne?
Exactly. Everybody was talking about the Ozzy Osbourne connection. She's sort of taken off on this, rock and roll tour. But how you not know?
How do you not know a bat?
It's crazy.
Bats fly around our neighborhood all the time. I mean, it's interesting to see them, but I will know if a bat lands on me.
You'd think you would know, right? Yeah.
All
right. Wheel of Fortune's longtime host Pat Sajak is getting ready to spin the wheel one last time. His final episode before Ryan Seacrest takes over is coming to a close today, and fans are getting a rare look behind the scenes thanks to his daughter Maggie. She took to her Instagram page and posted videos of what really goes on backstage. Maggie posted secrets from behind the puzzle board. She served as the show's social media correspondent since 2021. She revealed Pat's water station featuring a small table with Fiji water for the host. Vanna White even got in on the fun, giving fans a glimpse of what craft services are like for her and the crew on a daily basis. June 7th, which is today, is his final spin.
Very nice. I got to touch the Wheel of Fortune things one time when they were at SeaWorld in Orlando.
Exciting.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's iconic, right?
Yeah.
And a guy, what a job he has, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
They only
It's the
tape like
best
2 or
job
3
in
months of the world,
showbiz.
of the year.
And then half the shows they do, they're traveling to some exotic location.
How cool is that? Love that. We're doing it right after this. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Fans all across the country, they're on cloud 9 thanks to a California dream that's actually now a reality. All right, joining us now to talk about their very own California Dreams. 2 of the band members, Kelly Packard and Brittany Gore, are joining us today. Always want to say this, y'all. The band's back together. How cool is that? How are y'all?
Great.
Well, first off, it's got to be kind of fun. Music, when you have music in your life, it's one of those where it never gets out of you. And I would imagine, I have zero musical ability. But I always hear that from musicians and that sort of thing. Let me ask you, how does it feel to reunite with the original cast members of California Dreams after all these years?
I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this moment for years, and this is now our second or third opportunity to be back together since the show wrapped.
Oh, cool.
And I'm just beyond excited to be in LA, where we're from. I'm from, born and raised.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Well, and Brentley, you were born in Nashville, right? So music, I would imagine, it was just born in your blood. You drank out of the Music City water, I imagine, right? Am I right or wrong?
It burns in my blood. It's in my family for sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I'm back in Nashville now, but I had moved to Los Angeles, which is where the show started, and where we all made our start there at California Dreams.
Yeah, hence that, Saturday mornings, folks, you got the band together, and Brentley, you're the songwriter, the guitarist, keyboards, you're the Eddie Van Halen of the band. Whereas Kelly, you played bass. Am I right on that? Am I right or wrong on that? You played bass?
That is correct.
All right. Now, can you play bass? Are you a bass player? You can be honest.
No, I am not a bass player. I was faking playing. I thought I did a pretty good job of faking, but I did learn a few chords so that it looked a little bit more believable, but that is my voice singing.
Okay. Well, and you also sang, of course, on that as well. The reason I brought that up is because if I was ever in a band, I want to play the bass. The bass guy is the one that plays, they're just walking around the stage. They're just having fun. They're just like, hey, what's going on? So that's why I brought that up. All right, let's talk about the concerts. Getting back together, my voice is different than it was, 5-10 years ago. But I imagine when you're with a group of just very professional as well as talented folks, what was the experience like just getting ready to do this another round of concerts?
I can speak for me. I was nervous because I hadn't sung some of those songs in 30 plus years. But as soon as we got together, and I'll tell you what, Brent sounds the same, if not better, as when we were on the show. I know he still sings all the time, so his vocals are, primed and ready to go, but I was nervous. Here, listen to me. I'm like on vocal rest for the concert coming up.
Yeah. All right. So I'll try not to ask too many long-winded questions there. Brent, what about you? Was there any behind the scenes where, obviously you having all the musical talent that you have, were you kind of like the one kind of giving the advice back then, and then now of like, hey, maybe a little bit more vocals on this, that sort of thing? Tell us some of the behind the scenes behind this, and maybe even back from when you were filming the show.
Well, to an extent, I mean, we were such kids when we started this show. And so I'd never made a record. I'd never been into the studio too much. We were just teens. And so, there we are. And so when we started the show, Steve Tyrell, who's the producer and actually a successful artist himself, had brought us into the studio and showed us the ropes about how to record and make a record. And we made a record on MCA Records and with NBC, and we were off and running. And so kind of fast forwarding to today and doing these concerts, and this one in LA specifically, we've really honed in on being able to rehearse and to get these songs together to present. And we did one in New York last year, and it came out, it went so well. We decided to do it again, and the fans asked us to, and so we're bringing it back to LA, and we feel pretty good about it. We're doing pretty well for being 30 years later. Is
right?
That where we are?
That's incredible. I didn't know y'all had an MCA Records. You're kind of like Leonard Skinner a little bit then too. That's interesting there. Kelly, may I ask you, your approach to performing has it changed from since the show in the early days?
I just try to have fun with it now. Yeah. And I will say that because maybe it's age, maturity, I'm not as nervous as when I was younger. Because when we were on the show and we were a band as well, we were doing concerts in the malls. You remember mall tours? Yeah. I remember being so nervous for those. And I don't really have that nervous energy as much now. It's just excitement and trying to take it all in. And again, that's just, I think, age and maturity.
I love this. And I love that you guys get met together and getting with the fans that remember you from those Saturday mornings. Thank you so much. They're playing on the Sunset Strip. You can check that out. We will have more information on the tour dates, California Dreams, if you want to find it out. You can head to dailyflashshow.com. It's Brentley Gore and, of course, Kelly Packard joining us, California Dreams. This sounds really, really fun. And again, more details are on our website.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
She sure is. I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to a Friday edition of Daily Flash. We also got Matt Doolittle hanging out with us, and I love this. You ever hear those big busts around the world, and the bad guys get taken in?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they have something over there in the UK. They did this, Interpol, which...
Interpol.
Interpol.
That always sounds proper.
I think James Bond. I think Idris Elba for some reason. Like he's like the epitome of.
Sounds very Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
Yeah, it also reminds me, like in the front of videos. Like remember when you used to rent a video, it would have that message in front and it said, Interpol will be after you.
Exactly.
I'm paraphrasing, but do not copy. Interpol.
Well, not only are they dealing with bootlegged VHSs, but they had an operation called Operation First Light. I'm going to look at my notes because these are some incredible numbers. It's called Operation First Light 2024. And they went after basically online scammers, and they rounded up 61 countries. They went through 6,745 bank accounts being frozen altogether. They had about 4,000 suspects arrested. And then another 14,643 people, possible suspects, identified. Nobody is in Nigeria anymore. They got them all. That's not true. It was all over the world. So keep in mind, even though that they've had this big bust, scammers are out there, and they're going to be trying new things, obviously, out there. But congratulations to Interpol to stop this, because we don't necessarily see it here in America as much because they go outside of the United States.
So these were all online scammers.
Yeah, and they had their bank accounts when they steal from you, and they would put it in there. Now they're frozen, so nobody can get to them. We're talking like it's at almost 7,000 bank accounts. So
and they've cut down at Target and Walmart that if you walk up with like a big stack of gift cards, they're like, "Hey, are you sure you really need all these?" Because usually it's a grandma scam.
I think I shared with you my whole gift card fiasco with my mom, and I sent her a gift card, and then she went to use it, and they're like, "I'm sorry, there's nothing left on this balance." And so, of course, it was a huge fiasco to try and get in touch with the gift card company, and then the company that sold the gift card, and it was back and forth. Finally, my credit card took care of it. But now I've noticed going into grocery stores and drugstores, they no longer allow you to buy those Visa cards on the floor.
Good.
You have to ask for them behind the counter, which is what they should have done all along.
You can't. You go through pharmacies and you can't get cologne or whatever, or shaving cream.
It's locked up. Yeah.
But a $500 Visa gift card is right there to purchase off the rack, and anybody can grab it and scam you.
So keep that in mind. Congratulations.
That's good news.
I like hearing that.
Well, 2 Arizona residents were shocked when a trio of police officers arrived at their home with their DoorDash delivery. Moments earlier, their delivery driver was arrested while he was on his way with their groceries. Oops. They noticed their driver hadn't moved from his location for over an hour, and just when they thought they wouldn't get their groceries, they heard a knock at the door. Officers with the Phoenix Police Department wanted to make sure they received their delivery. The driver, who was arrested for an outstanding warrant, told cops he could return to the supermarket and ask another driver to complete the task, but the officer said, "Hey, we don't mind going the extra mile." They say it's all in a day's work in an effort to keep the community safe and happy.
You know, they were doing at the door. They're like, "Wait a minute, where's my donuts?"
Oh, you gotta go with that.
I can say that. My son's a cop. I'm allowed to say that.
You've got immunity.
You know, there's all kinds of stories like this that cops do all the time, and I love that they went through. The only thing they had a big old thing of ramen noodles and all that, but like if the milk, after an hour after the milk, but that would be the cops' fault, but that'd be the only thing. Yeah. So good job, Phoenix. All right, the CFO of BP Oil fired. Why? He failed to disclose personal relationships at work. Well, now the corporate giant, they're not taking any more chances. They sent out an email to everybody. BP told all the employees that they're required to disclose any relationships at work that go beyond that day-to-day. If not, they face losing their job. BP also updated their code of conduct. It's going to prohibit employees from directly managing relatives or significant others. BP's top 4,500 managers have been given 3 months to report all romantic relationships they've had over the past 3 years. I think bigger companies are going to start doing more and more companies are going to need to do this. It's unfortunate this is reactionary. It seems like this should have been something that should have been done first.
The challenge is that you spend so much time at work, 8 to 10 hours a day. The likelihood of you meeting someone at work if you're single is pretty high. It's 90%. So I think when it comes to work, you got to delineate, your rules up front.
All right. Heading to the break, I'm going to figure out what delineate means. Delineate?
We're back right after this. Electric cars, well, there seems to be a divide between those who love them and those who don't. So who really has the final say? Well, of course you do. Here with the latest is auto expert Nick Miles to explain. Hi, Nick.
Hey, welcome to the Macintosh House of Sound, and behind me is a vehicle that just a few hours ago the world got to meet. It's the brand new Jeep Wagoneer S, an all-electric SUV from Jeep. It has over 600 horsepower and a distance of 300 miles on a single charge. It has 19 speakers on the inside from a Macintosh sound system, and 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, starting at just around $72,000 for the first introductory model. This vehicle goes on sale as of today. Now, Jeep, of course, have a full lineup. About 7% of Americans bought electric vehicles in the first quarter, but gas vehicles as well in their lineup. And those gas vehicles now will include some new models coming from Jeep in the next few years, including a plug-in hybrid Wagoneer and a Wagoneer that has an onboard generator, which of course will charge the battery, which means it could do up to 600 miles on a single charge. So building out their lineup. And Jeep, the most patriotic brand in America now, it will be the 80th anniversary of D-Day when Jeep dropped the Willys onto the beaches of Normandy to help American troops win the Second World War. And a tease from Jeep also last night. They showed us a concept. This is the Wagoneer S Trailhawk, an off-road version with carabiner tow hooks, laser-cut roof rack, and of course water fording in deep water, a 3-inch lift to show you that this is not just an on-road vehicle, but a super capable off-road vehicle in the Wagoneer S. For the next chapter of the Jeep brand with their all-electric SUV for North America. In New York, I'm Nick Miles. I'll send it back to you.
All right, well, is your diet supporting your gut health effectively? Joining us now to better explain eating habits for your gut that actually supports focus, energy, mood, sleep, even weight is registered dietitian Maya Feller. Hey, thanks for joining us there, Maya.
Our gut health is important to our overall well-being and connects to our energy levels in the following ways. About 70% of our immune health resides in our gut. And so our gut is involved in so many parts of our body. So these tools that MyFitnessPal offers really helps individuals to make food choices that are supportive of their overall health. And we absolutely want people to reach out and get help and be in community. The MyFitnessPal app has recipes, there are plans. There's a way to be part of a community and focus on adding fiber-rich foods into your pattern of eating that specifically support your gut health. It's a great thing. To learn more information, you can go to the Apple App Store and download the MyFitnessPal app. You can also go to the Google Play Store and download the MyFitnessPal app. Or you can head directly over to myfitnesspal.com for more information.
All right, more details on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
There's much more trending news and entertainment heading your way, but first let's check in with our friends at the Daily Buzz right here on Daily Flash.
Traditional Hispanic cuisine is delicious, but not always nutritious. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for Hispanics living in the U.S., but that doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of flavor.
People think that Latin food has to be unhealthy, and I always say with some small changes that you make in the kitchen, it can make such a big difference in your health. One of those changes you can make is instead of frying, you could swap that out for baking, or in this case, grilling. Then another thing you could do is swap out the ingredients that you're using. For example, I like using Masola corn oil because it's cholesterol-free and it has that check mark from the American Heart Association. It has a high smoke point of 450 degrees and it has a neutral flavor. That means it's not going to alter the flavor of whatever I'm cooking or the ingredients that I'm using.
Chef Chris whipped up some heart-smart Latin dishes you can serve up at your next backyard barbecue. Get the recipes and more info at Mazola.com.
Follow the Daily Buzz on social media.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Now we got one less thing to worry about when it comes to your summer travel plans. Here's more.
Despite rising costs, the travel bug is alive and well. In fact, 85% of Americans are itching to travel this summer. Get ready for bustling airports, exotic destinations, and even some streaming time in hotel rooms. To help you have a smooth and worry-free summer trip, Verizon has what you need to stay connected. Whether you're traveling by air, car, or cruise, in the US or abroad, we've got you covered. Start with the perfect travel companion. Get an iPhone 15 for $5 a month or Samsung Galaxy S23 on us, both with My Plan and no trade-in needed. Verizon has all the tools you need to help stay protected. Keep your memories safe with Verizon Cloud Storage, which backs up and syncs your photos, videos, and more. If your phone gets damaged, Verizon Mobile Protect offers Pro on-the-go same-day delivery and setup, depending on your delivery location for replacement smartphones and new devices purchased from Verizon.com, along with 24/7 security tools. Take your plan with you when you travel abroad. With our Travel Pass, your unlimited plan works internationally. Plus, get 30% off select nimble eco-friendly battery packs to keep your devices charged. Get the best deal to relax and listen to your summer soundtrack. Our My Plan perk allows you to stream music all summer long and save on Apple Music. Right now, get the Beats Studio Pro for $150 off for an unbeatable audio experience. Verizon is the only one-stop shop for access to 10 major content platforms at a discounted price, including YouTube Premium. Verizon offers these perks for $10 per month when added to My Plan, or manage and save on your favorite content subscriptions like Peacock through our Plus Play Marketplace. And you save even more with our bundles. With Verizon, customers can combine the Netflix and Max with ads perk for $10 per month with the Disney Bundle perk for $10 per month. That means customers get a total of 5 services: Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Netflix and Max for just $20 per month. Get everything you need for summer at verizon.com/summer travel deals.
A new study by LG Electronics finds that half of social media feeds have more negative content than positive, and it's increasing our anxiety and levels of unhappiness. Joining us now is information science professor Casey Fiesler. Hi, Casey. So how do social media algorithms work, and how do they influence the content you see on your feeds?
So social media algorithms are basically just recommendations. They are predicting what you might like depending on signals like what you've watched and engaged with in the past. And so this can end up with both positive and negative content in your feed.
How are companies like LG Electronics encouraging Gen Z and other social media users to shape their feeds to inspire more optimism?
Yeah, so one thing that you can do is be more reflective about what you're deciding to watch. And so LG made this Optimism Your Feed playlist that has a bunch of uplifting and optimistic content. So if you want to watch more positive things to try to tell your algorithm this is what you want to see, that's one way you can do it.
What impact does negative content and doom scrolling have on your mental health?
Yeah, so social media can have an impact on your mental health for both good and bad, but it can be really easy to get caught in these kind of negative algorithmic spirals if we're just watching negative content. So bringing more balance into your feed, I think, can be really helpful for your mental health.
And Casey, where can we go for more information?
Yeah, so for the Optimism Your Feed campaign, you can find more information about that on LG.com or their socials.
Casey, thank you. For more information, please visit LG on TikTok or YouTube, where you can access the Optimism Your Feed playlist.
In today's KSA Cares, and just ahead of World Oceans Day, Nicole Condon and Guy Simmons are joining us to share details on the work that's being done to preserve our oceans. Nicole, first, tell us a little bit about the importance of World Oceans Day.
Yeah, World Oceans Day is really a great opportunity to take a minute to really kind of take in the importance of the oceans in our everyday lives and look to actions that we can take to protect it. Working with really great people like Guy Simmons here, who's joining me today, the fishers and the people behind our fisheries, celebrating all the really great work that people are doing out on the water to make sure that we have great access to healthy seafood options for future generations.
All right, fantastic. What about there's a recent survey that's out that actually the results on basically what affects consumer food choices. Can you lead us into some of that?
Yeah, so we do a massive global survey every couple of years. This year we surveyed 27,000 people across 23 countries. And particularly in the US, we're looking at a population of seafood consumers who are overwhelmingly worried about the health of the oceans. Over 90% are worried about the state of our oceans.
Yeah.
But there's optimism too in our choices when we go out shopping in terms of looking for those sustainable, credible third-party labels to influence positive change on the water and to really put our dollars where our values are.
Well, Guy, how have these changes actually impacted the fishing industry and maybe even their customers?
Well, our customers, as Nicole said, are very concerned about not only the health of the oceans, but the actual resource. And We're particularly involved in the Atlantic surf clam and ocean quahog fishery, which has been around for many, many decades. And we've been involved in collaborative research for probably the last 40 years.
Wow.
And it has really had a good impact on our sustainability.
Well, Nicole, I'm going to come back to you. Maybe some simple ways our viewers can actually help participate into ocean preservation. I mean, I'm sure there's easy things they can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest thing you can do is to choose certified sustainable seafood when you're shopping. Look for that little blue label. It's really going to showcase a trust and verification mark when you're out shopping to know what is the best choice. What are the fisheries that are really trying to work towards making sure that we have those sustainable fish stocks and healthy fish stocks for this and future generations. So you can go to msc.org to learn a little bit more about the Marine Stewardship Council and all the great work that our fisheries partners are doing. Guy.
Guy, I got to tell you, it's a tough job, I'm sure, being a fisherman. We thank both of you for joining us, making the 2/3 of the world's water, so we got to make sure we take care of it and getting good food out of there. We're going to post this interview on our website. You can go to dailyflashshow.com to check it out for yourself. Thank you both for joining us.
We have to do so much for our environment when you think about it, and you look at some of the work that people do to clean up beaches and how much plastic they
it's
find.
Disgusting how much.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It makes you think twice about what you do with your plastic bags and your plastic bottles. At least it should when it comes to wildlife.
Down, I believe, in Miami, where it was on the back of a boat and people were literally taking their trash cans and throwing it out. Do you remember that video?
Yes.
And it disgusted so many people out there, but it goes to show you where we're at, especially when we throw it out there. That's what the fish are going to eat, so it's coming back to us.
And story update, those folks got a ticket and they are being fined by our Florida Fish and Wildlife.
I think they should.
As they should, yes, absolutely.
All right, well, we have more Daily Flash right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us today. Hey, before we head into the weekend, we always like to give you our picks for stream for the weekend. This is where we got to tell you something you got to check out in your streaming services. First up, Andrea, what's your pick?
Okay, my pick for this week is Food Network's Chow House.
Ooh.
Welcome to Puglia, where talented chefs embark on an epic culinary adventure that will change the course of their careers forever. You're gonna have 45 minutes to whip up a dish that shows us your culinary point of view and tells us a little bit about who you are as a chef.
I'm making my version of an eggplant parmigiana with a twist.
So season 1 and 2 now available, and you can stream all the episodes. I rarely get hooked into these shows, but this one is visually stunning and it's fantastic.
And the point of difference is?
Point of difference is you've got chefs from America that come to Italy. They choose a different spot in Italy. They focus on the food that's specific to that region in Italy, and then they all compete, but they compete on teams. They have to pick each team, and then they have to choose within their team who gets the boot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I watch those and try to recreate what they cook.
Yeah, and it never works.
It never works out well.
No.
My pick this week is a story of a man who influenced all of our lives in one way or another. It is Jim Henson, Idea Man.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side?
From a very early age, he had the feeling that he was here for a purpose.
Howdy.
So this is a really good look at Jim Henson, the guy who influenced all of our lives, whether it's Sesame Street, The Muppets, whatever. It's on Disney Plus, directed by Ron Howard. There are times when you start crying in this, and it's a great documentary on it.
All right, my pick is about a tall, red, lanky former talk show host taking over the world just to meet some friends. This is Conan O'Brien Must Go.
I am Conan, the Red.
Are my pants falling? I think my pants are falling down.
Yeah.
I forgot how funny Conan O'Brien really is. His podcast is called Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and that's what this show is based off of. So he'll have people on from all over the world, and you go, well, I'd like to meet you. And so he just shows up at their house. A lot of them have no idea he's coming, and he just hangs out and does these great skits with them. It's really fun.
Anytime he includes Jordan Schlansky, too.
Yes,
I'm all for
those
that.
are the best ones, too. So check that out. That does it for our show. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Be good, everybody. For more information on any of the stories, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Be good.
Bye-bye, y'all.